Christmas is a season the world often wraps in glitter, lights, and ribbons. People fill their homes with decorations, fill their calendars with plans, and fill their shopping bags with gifts. But even with all the celebration, many hearts remain empty. Many souls walk through this season smiling on the outside, while silently breaking on the inside. And year after year, the world tries to cover its wounds with holiday noise, hoping somehow the pain will disappear. Yet every year the same truth returns. Nothing we buy can heal what is hurting on the inside. Christmas was never meant to be a competition of gifts. It was meant to be God's gentle whisper to a wounded world, telling us that healing has arrived. Some who hear these words today are carrying burdens so heavy that even the joy of Christmas feels distant. You may be dealing with memories that tighten your chest every time you think about them. Some of you are carrying disappointments from years past, dreams that didn't come true, relationships that fell apart, people who walked away without explanation, wounds that reopened when you least expected, and though your home may shine with holiday lights, your heart feels dim. The world expects you to laugh, to celebrate, to act like everything is fine because it's the season of joy. But deep down you know that joy cannot be forced. Yet this is exactly why Christmas came. It came not for the ones who pretend to be strong, but for the ones who finally admit they cannot heal themselves. It came for the broken, for the lost, for the ones searching for meaning in a world that constantly distracts them with temporary solutions. It came for the people who feel unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. Christmas came for the hearts that whisper, "I'm tired, I'm hurting, I'm struggling, I don't know what to do anymore." For generations, humanity waited for a savior, not a political leader, not a wealthy king, not a powerful warrior, but someone who could heal the inside wounds no doctor could reach. And when the moment finally came, heaven did not send an army. It did not send thunder or lightning. It sent a child, a small, fragile child lying in a manger, a child who came with a mission not to build palaces, but to rebuild hearts. A child whose birth was not announced with earthly parades, but with the soft shining of a star. This child was the sign that God had not forgotten humanity. He had not abandoned the broken. He had seen every tear shed behind closed doors. He had heard every silent prayer whispered through trembling lips. And he stepped into the world to bring healing, not the kind that lasts for a moment, but the kind that transforms a lifetime. Christmas is God saying, "I see your pain, and I'm coming close." It is God saying, "I know you cannot fix yourself, so let me fix you." Christmas is the reminder that even when people walk away, God walks toward you. Even when others overlook your hurt, God sees it clearly. Even when the world gives you temporary comfort, He offers lasting peace. Many people misunderstand Christmas because they think it's about giving gifts. But gifts, no matter how expensive, can never heal a broken heart. They can distract for a moment, but they cannot restore what you've lost. They cannot erase the betrayal you endured. They cannot mend the disappointment that has been building inside you. They cannot fix the loneliness that haunts you even in a room full of people. They cannot heal the grief you carry for loved ones who are no longer here. But what the world could not give, God gave. He gave something no shop could sell, no person could manufacture, no amount of money could buy. He gave healing. He gave restoration. He gave peace that cannot be explained. He gave love so pure that even the deepest wounds begin to soften under its touch. He gave hope strong enough to revive a crushed spirit. As you listen to this message, think about your own heart. Think about the things you carry that no one knows. Think about the words that hurt you. Think about the failures you replay over and over again. Think about the people you lost. Think about the dreams that slipped through your hands, and then realize this: Christmas came for all of that. Christmas came to heal those exact places inside you. You don't have to hide your tears. You don't have to pretend you're strong. You don't have to act like everything is perfect. God doesn't need your perfection. He wants your honesty. He wants your heart exactly the way it is, even if it's shattered in 1,000 pieces, because He can heal what you cannot. He can restore what seems impossible. He can rebuild what others destroyed. Some of you feel like your heart has been bruised too many times. Maybe you were betrayed by someone you trusted with your whole soul. Maybe someone made promises they never kept. Maybe life threw storms at you that you never saw coming, and now you think, I don't know if I can ever feel whole again. But hear this clearly, you can. Not because of your own strength, but because of the one who came to be your healer. Christmas is not a reminder of what you've lost. It's a reminder that healing is still possible. It is God's promise that no matter how dark the year has been, a light has come, a light that shines in the deepest darkness of your memories, a light that brings warmth to the coldest corners of your heart, a light that leads you out of fear and into peace. This world teaches you to buy more, to achieve more, to look successful, to appear happy. But God whispers something different. Come to me. He doesn't say come clean, come polished, come perfect. He simply says, come as you are. Bring your unresolved pain. Bring your unanswered questions. Bring your hidden wounds. Bring the memories that hurt too much to speak out loud. Bring the grief that bends your shoulders. Bring your guilt. Bring your doubt. Bring everything you've been carrying alone, because you were never meant to carry it alone. There is someone listening right now who desperately needs to hear this. God has not forgotten you. You feel abandoned, but you are not abandoned. You feel unseen, but you are deeply known. You feel unworthy, but you are infinitely loved. Christmas is the proof. If you ever doubt your worth, remember this. Heaven moved for you. Heaven sent its greatest gift for you. Heaven reached into a broken world to heal a broken heart, including yours. Maybe this year hasn't gone the way you hoped. Maybe you lost friendships, opportunities, or people you thought would be with you forever. Maybe you experienced moments that shattered your confidence or decisions that filled you with regret. But Christmas reminds you that your story is not over. The pain you feel today is not the end. It's the place where God begins His healing work. The healing God brings is not shallow. It goes deep. It reaches into places even you are afraid to touch. It breaks chains you've carried for years. It softens your spirit. It brings peace to your thoughts. It restores your identity. It replaces fear with courage. It turns discouragement into hope. It turns night into morning. But to receive this healing, you must open your heart. Healing requires honesty. It requires surrender. It requires a willingness to say, God, I cannot do this alone. I need you. And when you do, something miraculous happens. Your tears become prayers. Your fears become testimonies. Your pain becomes purpose. Your wounds become doors where God enters to transform your life. The world celebrates Christmas by exchanging gifts, but heaven celebrates Christmas by exchanging hearts, your broken heart for God's healing presence. Every year, people unwrap presents that will be forgotten in weeks, but if you unwrap the gift heaven offers, it will change your entire life. This is what Christmas really is. God stepping into your suffering, your loneliness, your confusion, your heartbreak, and whispering, "You are not alone. I am here, and I will heal you." The greatest gift is not under your tree. The greatest gift is the healing God is offering your soul right now. So, as this season passes by, don't measure it by how many gifts you receive or how perfect your celebration looks. Measure it by how open your heart is to the one who can restore it. Let this Christmas be the moment you let go of old wounds. Let this be the moment you release bitterness, anger, and unforgiveness. Let this be the moment you stop trying to fix yourself and allow God to do what only He can do. Because Christmas is God's gift of healing, not a material gift, not a temporary joy, not a decoration that fades when the lights come down, but a deep, lasting healing that fills the soul with peace, strength, and a new beginning. God is ready. Your healing is ready. The only question left is, will you open your heart and receive it? The beauty of Christmas is often wrapped in lights, decorations, and the sounds of celebration. But beneath all the music and the glitter, there is a deeper truth that many people try to ignore. This season touches the wound in every heart. It brings memories, both joyful and painful. It reminds us not only of what we have, but of what we have lost. And for some people, Christmas is not an easy time. It is a time when their loneliness becomes louder, their grief becomes heavier, and their silent battles become harder to hide. Yet, the miracle of Christmas is this: you don't have to hide your pain, because Christmas meets you right in your brokenness. Some of you listening right now are holding pain that you've carried for years. Pain that you've pushed down, pain you've refused to speak about, pain that you've learned to live with because you thought there was no other choice. Maybe your heart was broken by someone you trusted. Maybe a relationship ended when you begged for it to work. Maybe someone close to you passed away and Christmas hasn't felt the same since the day they left. Maybe you're dealing with financial struggles, family tension, personal failures, or deep regret that sometimes keeps you awake at night. And every December, when the world is celebrating, you feel like you're standing on the outside looking in, wondering why joy found everyone else but skipped over you. But hear this: Christmas isn't just for the happy. Christmas is for the hurting. The manger wasn't placed in a palace, it was placed in a stable. A place that smelled like animals, a place dirty and simple, a place no one would expect the Savior of the world to be born. Why? So that no one could ever say, "I'm too broken for God. My life is too messy. My heart is too wounded." The story of Christmas begins in a place where no one thought holiness could ever live. And that is the message for you today. God meets you exactly where you are, not where you pretend to be. You may be thinking, but you don't know my pain, you don't know what I've been through, and you're right, I don't. But God does. He sees the heart behind your smile. He hears the cry behind your laughter. He notices the heaviness you carry silently every day. You can hide your pain from people, but you can't hide it from Him. And the incredible truth is, you don't have to. Christmas is God's way of saying, I came for you. I came for the hurting, the broken, the weak, the lost, the lonely. He doesn't ask you to fix yourself before coming to Him. He simply asks you to come. Some of you have spent years pretending you're fine. You've become strong on the outside because life forced you to be. You don't share because you fear being judged. You don't open up because every time you've trusted someone, they wounded you deeper. So instead of reaching out, you withdraw, you isolate, you learn to stay silent. But silence doesn't heal a broken heart, love does. And Christmas is the announcement of that love. Think of the shepherds in the field the night Christ was born. They were not wealthy, they were not famous, they were not religious leaders, they were ordinary, overlooked, forgotten by society. Yet, the angels came to them first. Why? Because God wanted the world to understand that His love is not for the perfect. His love is for the overlooked, the ordinary, the broken-hearted. He meets people where they least expect Him to appear. That's why this Christmas He's reaching for your heart, especially the parts of your heart you keep hidden. Some of you have wounds from childhood. Words spoken to you long ago still echo in your mind. Someone made you feel worthless, unwanted, or not enough. That pain didn't disappear as you grew older. You just became better at hiding it. Others of you have wounds from relationships, betrayal, heartbreak, disappointment. You gave your love, your trust, your loyalty, and someone threw it away, and now you question your worth. You question whether you're lovable. You question whether anyone will truly understand your heart. Christmas speaks into that pain, not with shallow encouragement or temporary comfort, but with eternal truth. You matter. You are loved. You are not forgotten. God has not overlooked your tears. He has not ignored your prayers. He has not abandoned you to your brokenness. Some people believe they have to be strong to come to God. They think they must first fix their life, repair their mistakes, organize their chaos, clean their wounds. But God doesn't ask for that. In fact, Christmas proves the opposite. The Savior came into a world that was broken, not whole. A world filled with sin, not purity. A world full of wounded hearts, not perfect souls. He entered into our mess, not to condemn us, but to heal us. Not to judge our brokenness, but to restore it. You may feel empty this Christmas, but emptiness is exactly what God fills. You may feel weak this Christmas, but weakness is where His strength shines brightest. You may feel alone this Christmas, but He steps into your loneliness with love. You may feel lost this Christmas, but He came to lead you home. And maybe this year, God is calling you to stop pretending you're okay. To stop carrying the weight alone. To stop burying the pain that's been eating you from the inside. Christmas is an invitation not to act strong, but to be honest, to bring your wounds to the one who knows how to heal them. You don't have to walk through this season with a fake smile. You don't have to force yourself to feel festive when your heart feels heavy. You don't have to push away your emotions just to appear strong. God doesn't love you because you are strong. He loves you because you are His. He doesn't ask for your perfection. He asks for your heart. Some of you have cried in silence. Some of you pray but feel unheard. Some of you are surrounded by people yet still feel unseen. Some of you are battling depression, anxiety, fear, or emotional exhaustion. You don't want to burden anyone. You don't want to be someone else's problem, so you suffer quietly. But Christmas whispers into that suffering, you are not alone. God is with you. Emmanuel, God with us, means God with you, in your pain, in your confusion, in your heartbreak. The world celebrates Christmas for many reasons, traditions, culture, gifts, gatherings, but heaven celebrates Christmas for one reason. A broken world finally had hope again. Hope for healing, hope for restoration, hope for forgiveness, hope for a new beginning. The pain you carry does not disqualify you from that hope. It makes you the reason for it. You may feel too broken, but broken people are exactly who Christmas came for. You may feel too lost, but lost people are exactly who God seeks. You may feel too wounded, but wounded hearts are exactly what He heals. Think about your life for a moment. Think about the battles you've fought that nobody knows about. Think about the nights you spent awake, thinking, worrying, crying quietly. Think about the moments you felt completely alone. Now hear this. God was there in every moment. He was there when your heart broke. He was there when your strength failed. He was there when the world disappointed you. And He is here right now, calling you gently, inviting you to surrender your pain. The miracle of Christmas isn't just a baby in a manger. The miracle is the message behind that child. You are loved more than you know. Some of you are afraid to hope again because you've been disappointed. You're afraid to trust again because you've been betrayed. You're afraid to love again because you've been hurt. But God doesn't disappoint like people do. His love doesn't change, doesn't fail, doesn't walk away. His presence doesn't vanish when life gets hard. He is constant, faithful, steady through every season, including the one you're in now. What if this Christmas could be different? Not because your circumstances changed, but because your heart did. What if instead of running from your pain, you laid it before God? What if instead of pretending you're strong, you allowed yourself to be held by the one who is? What if instead of hiding your brokenness, you let him heal it? Healing doesn't always come in the way we expect. Sometimes God heals instantly. Other times he heals gradually. Sometimes he removes the storm. Other times he strengthens you through it. But no matter how the healing comes, it always begins with one decision, the decision to stop hiding. You don't need to prove anything to God. You don't need to act brave. You don't need to clean up your life first. Christmas is proof that God steps into your chaos long before you have the power to fix it. For some of you, this might be the Christmas where a heavy burden finally lifts. For some, this may be the Christmas where forgiveness flows toward someone else or toward yourself. For some, this may be the Christmas where the wound you've hidden for years finally receives light, and therefore finally begins to heal. Yes, you may have been broken by life, but you are still loved by God. Yes, you may feel alone, but heaven stands beside you. Yes, you may have pain, but pain does not have the final word. Hope does. Christmas meets you in your brokenness, not to leave you there, but to lift you out of it. It meets you in your sorrow and whispers comfort. It meets you in your weakness and offers strength. It meets you in your fear and brings peace. It meets you in your wounds and begins a healing that only God can give. And when healing comes, it won't just touch the surface. It will reach the deepest parts of your soul. The parts no one sees, the parts no one knows, the parts you've kept hidden for far too long. This Christmas, open your heart not to the world but to God. Let him into the places where you feel most fragile. Let him touch the wounds you've tried to ignore. Let him be the comfort you've been searching for. Because the message of Christmas is simple and powerful, you don't have to hide your pain. God meets you in it, and he heals what you give him. There is something extraordinary about this season we call Christmas. Streets glow with lights, homes fill with decorations, and people rush with busy hearts, trying to create the perfect moment, the perfect celebration, the perfect memory. Yet, behind the noise and beauty of the season, there is a quiet truth that so many overlook. The greatest miracle of Christmas is not found in what the eyes can see or what the hands can hold. It happens in the deepest part of the human soul, inside the heart. Every year, millions gather around trees, tables, and traditions, hoping for a feeling, searching for joy, longing for peace, wishing for a warmth that the world often fails to give. Many believe that Christmas is supposed to fix everything: broken families, broken finances, broken minds, broken relationships. They imagine that the lights will make the darkness disappear, and the gifts will fill the empty places within. But Christmas was never designed to solve problems through the things we buy or the celebrations we arrange. Christmas brings change through something far more powerful, a divine touch that reaches into the broken places of the human heart and begins to heal from the inside out. Some of you listening today are carrying wounds that Christmas lights cannot brighten. You are trying to celebrate while your soul feels heavy. You are trying to smile while your heart feels cracked. You are trying to move forward, yet something inside you still hurts from what life has taken or what life has left behind. And maybe you've asked yourself, how can I celebrate when I feel this way? How can I rejoice when I'm still struggling? How can this season mean anything for someone like me? But Christmas came for people exactly like you. It came for the tired, the weary, the discouraged, the heartbroken, the misunderstood, the lonely, the hurting. Christmas was heaven's answer to humanity's deepest pain. Not shallow pain that time can erase, but the kind of pain that sinks into the spirit, the pain of disappointment, betrayal, loss, fear, guilt, regret, and the longing to belong. The real miracle of Christmas is that it meets each heart exactly where it is. It does not ask you to be perfect. It does not ask you to pretend. It does not ask you to hide the tears that fall when no one is watching. Christmas speaks softly to the soul that feels alone in a room full of people. It whispers to the one who has been carrying a heavy burden for far too long. It reaches the heart that has been hardened by life and gently begins to soften it again. This season is not about perfection, it's about presence. Not the presence wrapped in paper and ribbon, but the presence of divine love entering a weary world, illuminating the corners of your heart where sorrow has lived too long. Many try to create Christmas from the outside, decorating rooms, arranging gifts, preparing feasts, organizing gatherings, and yet still feel empty, disconnected, or numb. That's because Christmas doesn't begin outside of you, it begins within you. It begins with the moment you realize that what you truly need cannot be bought, cannot be wrapped, and cannot be placed under a tree. What your soul longs for is peace that settles your worries, hope that lifts your spirit, strength that carries you through the storms of life, and love that doesn't fade when the season ends. Christmas brings these gifts not once a year, but every moment a heart is willing to receive them. Some of you have walked through seasons that have drained your joy. You may have faced loss so painful that the idea of celebrating anything feels impossible. Someone you loved may no longer be here, and now every Christmas reminds you of absence instead of warmth. Some of you carry broken relationships, people you thought would stand by you but walked away. Some carry guilt from mistakes that haunt your mind. Some feel unworthy of joy because of the battles you're fighting in secret. Some feel emotionally exhausted, spiritually empty, or mentally overwhelmed. But here's the beauty of Christmas. It does not wait for you to be whole before it brings healing. It does not wait for you to have life figured out before it brings hope. The miracle of Christmas enters right into the middle of your confusion, your pain, your questions, and your weaknesses. It steps into the places you've tried to fix on your own and transforms them with a love stronger than your past, bigger than your fears, and deeper than your wounds. There are moments in life where you can feel everything falling apart, yet in the quiet of Christmas, something begins to shift. The heavy heart feels a little lighter, the anxious mind feels a little calmer, the exhausted soul feels a little stronger. That's not coincidence, that's the miracle. That's the divine whisper reminding you that you are not alone, you are not forgotten, and your story is not over. Christmas has a way of reminding us of what truly matters. Not material wealth, not the perfect table setting, not the expensive gifts that lose their shine within weeks. What matters is love, the kind of love that forgives, that understands, that comforts, that restores. Many people buy gifts trying to express love, but love itself is the greatest gift you could ever give or receive. Think for a moment, how many people around you desperately need healing this Christmas? Someone in your family might be smiling but silently breaking. Someone you love might be carrying a burden they're afraid to reveal. Someone you know might need a kind word, a forgiving heart, or a gentle reminder that they are valued. The miracle of Christmas becomes real when we allow our own hearts to soften enough to see the wounds in others. When we stop judging, stop holding grudges, stop expecting perfection, and begin offering compassion, understanding, and grace, we become instruments of the miracle ourselves. But it must begin inside you. You cannot pour peace into others if your own heart is full of bitterness. You cannot offer forgiveness if you're still chained to past pain. You cannot give love freely if fear has paralyzed your heart. This is why Christmas comes softly, humbly, to touch the places inside you that you've kept closed, to remind you that healing is possible, to replace bitterness with tenderness, anger with understanding, fear with courage, and emptiness with fullness. Some hearts have grown cold over time. You've been hurt too many times, disappointed too many times, rejected too many times. You've learned to protect yourself by shutting down emotions, hiding your vulnerabilities, and acting like nothing affects you. But Christmas calls you gently to open your heart again, not to pain, but to healing, not to fear, but to love, not to the past, but to new beginnings. There is a sacred stillness in this season that allows you to reflect on your life. The year may have been full of challenges, but Christmas invites you to pause and breathe. It invites you to slow down long enough to feel again, long enough to remember that your heart matters. Your emotions matter, your healing matters, you matter. Too often, people live as if their pain is invisible, as if their heartaches don't count, as if their struggles are a sign of weakness. But the miracle of Christmas tells you the opposite. It tells you that your tears have meaning, your wounds have purpose, and your story has value. It tells you that there is a love greater than the hurt you've experienced, a hope brighter than any darkness you've walked through, and a future more beautiful than anything you've lost. Christmas invites you to release the burdens you've been carrying, release the resentment, the regret, the disappointment, the fear, the guilt. These emotions were never meant to live inside you forever. They were meant to be surrendered so something better can take their place. When you let go, something powerful happens. Peace enters, peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, peace that makes no sense to the world, peace that settles deep in your heart and reminds you that you are held, guided, and loved. And then comes joy, not the temporary joy that comes from gifts or gatherings, but the lasting joy that comes from knowing you are never alone. Joy that flows even in hardship, joy that cannot be taken by circumstances, joy that springs from the assurance that your heart is being renewed, restored, and rebuilt from the inside out. Then comes love, real love, pure love, love that calms your insecurities, love that mends your brokenness, love that makes you whole, love that fills the gaps left by people who walked away, love that stays when everything else collapses. This is the miracle working quietly within you, reshaping your heart, restoring your hope, renewing your faith. As Christmas approaches, you may realize that the greatest gift you can offer others is a healed version of yourself. A heart that has forgiven, a heart that has let go, a heart that has made peace with the past, a heart that is open again to love, joy, and connection. When your heart heals, you become a light to those still walking in darkness. When you heal, you inspire others to heal. When you heal, your presence becomes a gift more meaningful than anything wrapped under a tree. So this Christmas, before the celebrations begin, pause long enough to let the miracle happen inside you. Sit quietly, reflect deeply, feel honestly, lift every wound, every fear, every disappointment to the one who knows your heart better than you know yourself. Let this season be the moment you stop pretending you're fine and allow healing to begin. Let Christmas be the turning point where bitterness becomes forgiveness, sorrow becomes strength, loneliness becomes connection, and brokenness becomes beauty. Let it be the season where your heart finally breathes again, dreams again, hopes again, believes again. Because the true miracle of Christmas is not found in gifts, lights, trees, or traditions. The true miracle is found inside the heart, your heart, transformed, renewed, and healed by a love that came down to bring hope to the world. And once your heart is healed, Christmas becomes something far greater than a season. It becomes a way of living, a life marked by compassion, patience, kindness, and unshakable faith. A life that sees the good in others, a life that offers grace, a life that walks with purpose and peace, a life filled with the miracle that began quietly, humbly, inside your heart. This Christmas, may you receive the healing that has been waiting for you. May your heart open, soften, and awaken to the beauty of this season. May peace flow through your soul like a gentle river. May hope rise like a warm light after a long night. May love wrap around you like the embrace you've been longing for. And may you discover, in the deepest place within you, the truth that has changed countless lives throughout history. The real miracle of Christmas happens inside the heart.